the easiest way to scale is just spending more money in what works. Obviously, it's a very dull statement, but it's true. Just spending more money. I find a lot of people also get stagnant on the budgets. So today we'll have an exercise of tracking. So we'll get everybody to start tracking things, and actually let's go through what this takes. Let me give you guys the big picture, and then I'll share the actual tangible way to do this. So in order for this to happen, this lesson, we need to check off these 3 things. One is we need to track everything. It's a requirement, okay? Requirement, not whether you want to or not. No, requirement. If you want to scale and grow, you need to. That's first thing. Second thing, once we have the numbers, we just want to make sure that we're profitable. I would probably put this here, at least 200%. I'll explain this in a second as well. And once we get there, the third is it's profitable. Just spend more, open it up. Okay. That's the overarching where we want to be. So how do we do that? How do we track it? Every law firm needs to have this. Tracking comes in different forms. Okay. I put together as many different forms of tracking in here as possible. I'll go through the important ones, show you the other ones that are there for you. Anytime you need to track anything, it's probably going to be one of these tabs. Okay. The first one is the most macro one. This is that essentially it's a P&L statement, profit and loss statement. If you can do this in QuickBooks, that's most ideal. Okay. Ideally, everybody should have QuickBooks Online set up for their law firm. You can have there's VA account bookkeepers that can reconcile your expenses for you. They can also prepare your QuickBooks for you. And ideally, this should always be updated on a month-to-month basis. Ideally, there's plenty of bookkeepers that can do this. They're experienced in QuickBooks. You sign up for an online account. You basically QuickBooks, you connect all your accounts. Just say you bank with Chase, you connect your credit cards, your checking accounts, your auto accounts, all that stuff goes into QuickBooks. Then at that point, you basically have a list of expenses, which has to be categorized. QuickBooks usually categorizes a lot of those for you, but sometimes they have to be done manually. And then at that stage, be reconciled. Reconciled just means that everything is correct, basically. Then at that point, if you go to your reports, you're able to go and click on profit and loss statement. And ideally, you want to get that data on a monthly basis. That's where we want to be. If not, this is a good little accounting 101. I remember I actually took accounting in law school. And at the time, I was like, my first time seeing this, I'm like, why do I want this? Why do I need this in law school? But thank God I did, because it actually helped me a lot later with understanding this stuff. But I'll try to give it accounting 101 today. So top is your revenue. Top line revenue. Revenue is just how much money you make. Okay. Again, if you have this copy, go through the motions. Okay. Through the motions. I'll be explaining things and just do your best. Don't worry about it. We're not trying to be correct right now. You're just trying to understand what's what so you can fill it up and update it later. Your income sources is basically your practice types. I do estate plans. That's one practice type. Also do probate and also do this other obscure thing. So what you do is put the list of those specific niches there and do your best. We're just scribbling, throwing whatever we have on there. And again, we'll go revise it later. The second column is customer lifetime value. Essentially, what's an average client worth to you for that specific practice type? There's always a range. There's always a thing, but there's always, and hopefully one of these tracking sheets will help you figure out what that exact number is. Ideally, the closer the number, the better. If not, just a ballpark estimate. Usually when I get a estate planning client, it's about $3,500. For probate, it usually comes out to about $8,000 per client. Some bigger, some smaller, but usually it comes out to about $8,000. And this other obscure niche that I sometimes do is only worth $500. If you don't know, if you're not clear with your averages, then it's a good sign and a good trigger for us to get clear on that. This will open up a lot of doors to start collecting that data going forward. And this, again, understand the big picture, but also be delegated to one of your VAs. Go get this information for me. Go analyze our CRM or Google Sheet or wherever you collect your client information to pull that data for us. Next is your average monthly number of clients per month that you get for that practice specific type. Again, if you're not sure, just throw some numbers in there based on what you think it is. And automatically there is an equation there that will give you the income per month. Please do this. Don't just sit here and do your best to fill it out for yourself. That will give you your income per month and automatically equation to give you the income per year for each practice specific type. So if this number doesn't make sense, then something is off here and you go back and adjust later. But you should see top line revenue of what that is. Top line revenue, that's it. On the bottom is your expenses. You're not going to capture all your expenses, but you're going to do, I think I pulled out the most comprehensive list that I could for lawyers and I dropped it on here for you. Let's go through it. And obviously you're going to adjust these based on whatever that makes sense for you. So employee salaries, and this could also be broken down, really want to break it down your employees, then you could add employee salary for this person, employee salary for this person. If not, just the overarching, usually per month, how much are you paying for your virtual assistants per month? what that is. If you're using Upwork, you're able to go into Upwork and pull that out very easily. They have really good reports. And you will see 6 VAs, there are 4K, and have 2 employee salaries are about this much. You'll have some epiphanies there. Outsourced legal services, court filings, transcriptions, etc. Again, if you have QuickBooks, you could pull that out from there. If not, if you can companies those are, then you go into your bank statements and look those up to get clarity on that. Office rent, tools. This one take some time. It might take some time, but just general ballpark, it's about whatever, $300, $500, whatever that is. I'm not looking to get anything perfect. Your communication expenses, your telephone, faxes, whatever that is, approximate, your CRM, your contractors. Contractors could be people for your marketing or whatever that you hire for, independent contractors. Your marketing, when it comes to Google Ads management, spend about $1,500 on the management and about $5K on the ad spend, office supplies, etc., etc. I think you guys get the idea. From that, automatic calculation of your yearly expenses, which is this number right here. And that will give you the equation of approximate what is left on the table for you. This is where we want to start off. Again, ideally, if you can do this in QuickBooks, that's most ideal. But if not, at least to get you used to getting clear in this, then into this Google Sheet. So also, it's important to not just start this, but to finish this. So if we can take a moment right now to schedule a time, get clarity on this. And I found out that P&Ls that are more detailed are usually better. Like the tools, I remember I used to just say tools, but over time I wanted a breakdown of all the tools. That way I could see if I'm paying for tools that which I don't necessarily need, whatever. If they wouldn't have seen that, I wouldn't have noticed that. Victoria says, what is the best way to project sales, anticipating growth for a law firm practice? Perfect, Victoria. Let's get to tab 2. Let me know if there's any questions about from tab 1. If not, we'll go to tab 2, which is planning, projections, which is important, also necessary. This video that I posted by Oprah Winfrey, just shared this video. It's such a powerful message. Summarizes this really well, this idea.
Everyone, you look at
the audio sucks, but I think the message is more important.
You look at successful people. You've talked to everyone in the world who is successful. What would you say the one common characteristic that you find gets people to where they want to go?
The most important question is, people get to where they want to go because they know where they want to go.
Oh, wow.
Most people don't know where they want to go. A lot of people are going and being driven by what they think they should do,
Right.
what other people say they should do, what they have carried in their mind for a long time they should do. But the most important question you could ever ask yourself is, what do I really want?
Wow.
And the answer to that, once you can establish for yourself what the answer to that is, and have everything you do, every choice you make, move you in the direction of what you say your vision is.
Right.
Yeah. And when you do that, the forces of life rise up to meet you. The reason why most people have such chaotic lives is because they're living in chaos in their head. And as soon as you get clear, it clears up.
Message is loud and clear. If you want to know where you want to get to where you want to be, you got to be very clear with where you want to go. So this, what you see on the screen is that for your law firm. You need to create the goals that these are the number of clients and the revenue I want to get to. And this is what I need to do. It's called skill actions. What you see on the board, on the sheet, is what it takes for you to get there. You should already foresee what I'm doing for the next 12 months. A lot of people just think about what I'm doing today or this week. When you play that game, you're going to stay stagnant. You need to pre-plan ahead. So perfect sheet, fill out, do your best. So let's do it. You have your own sheet, just fill it out. So we're in March, perfect month to fill out at the beginning of the month. So again, a lot of this projections, it helps a lot when you have the data already from your last 12 months. So if you have this exact sheet already filled out for 2022, think that you usually get about 10 clients per month. If you don't know what that is, then you have no idea what to project for. So the way to create this goal is, depending on what starting off with the data. Start off with data of number of clients per month I get. So let's just say, again, to keep it very simple, I usually get about 10 clients per month. The goal should be 25% more on top. So 25%, 0.25 of 10 is 2.5 plus the original number, 0.5. Sorry, do it again. 25% of 10 is 2.5 plus the original 10 goal is 12.5 clients, or just summarizing 13. The goal is 25% more than what our average is for the first month. Okay, that's the first number. So again, give a ballpark estimate. I usually get about 10 clients, just add 25% more on top. That will be March's goal. Just 25% more is what we're shooting for. And then the months after that are going to be 5% more. So 5% of 13 is about 1. That means in April will be 14. After that, 5% more comes out to like about 15. Summarize, your first month is a 25% growth, then 5% month after month. This gets you close to almost doubling. It's realistic, it's doable, and it will get you essentially getting to almost double. Perfect amount of growth where we want to be. It's a good way to create our projections. So go to the sheet, again, ballpark estimate, whatever number of clients that is, and then go create for March, what is the number of clients, 25% more than what your average is. Then at the same time, okay, well, it's 14 clients, that's great, but how much is each client worth? That's based on data. You need to have that. If you don't, then you need to go analyze that. Let's just say 3,400. That's the case. Little equation that will give you 25% growth of your revenue comes out to about 47K. The month after, 25% more. And the question is, can you increase this? Can you increase this value? And ideally, you do want to increase, if you're going to, two levers, increase the number of clients, also increase the thing. And we actually were able to do that successfully. One of our law firms, not only did we focus hardcore on the number of clients, but the legal department focused on getting our averages almost double, essentially from where we started. Astronomical. Not only did we increase this by a crazy number, but also this number doubled. It's just, yeah, it's amazing. So the two levers that will give you your revenue. Throw that in right now. Again, just spitball this out in your sheet. And again, a lot of that is already this equations made for you that will give you your projections for the year where you want to be with the revenue. That's just the numbers. But in order for that to happen, this is the most important part. What are your scale actions? We'll make this maybe green. And what do you have to do? That goes back to our list. Again, spending more, delegating, hiring, doing more or something, installing CRMs, heads up, Garrett, whatever that is. Again, you already know, you already been exposed to a bunch of different client sources and how to hire and things like that. What does it take for you to get there? Increasing prices, hiring good, whatever that is, throw your ideas on the table. Again, this is a lot of things. You just want to put something on paper and then later on you're like, think about it. Maybe I could actually do Facebook ads. Sam is going to teach about Facebook ads. Maybe I could do that too. Focus on that. Throw your ideas there. Pre-plan your 2023 of your growth moves. Give you guys a minute to do that. And feel free to print this out, by the way. Some people they're better when it's physically in front of them. I'm like that. I like Google Sheets because it's quick, but if I need to like study something, I study on paper, studying things. So feel free to print this out, do it on a table, strategy over time, what your growth plans are. Any questions about projections, goals? All right, let's get a little bit more granular. If you run Google Ads or Google LSA, you need to get clear on your tracking. Okay, so this is perfect for a bunch of us. Run Google Ads or Google LSA, or there's actually one specific one for Facebook too. It's a little bit simpler. Is you need to get clear on these KPIs. Okay, you don't need to know just address. You do not need to know your cost per click or your click-through rates. I used to collect that information too, but I realized that doesn't matter. All that matters ultimately is how many clients I got and what was the cost. What was my cost per acquisition? That's the ultimate thing. And I also confirmed this. I mean, I already knew this, but also Ryan shared the same thoughts too. Over time, the more you do it, you're like, you just cut out the noise. Ultimately, how many clients did I get and what was the cost? That's it. Nothing else matters. If you really want one more level is, okay, how many leads did I get and what's my cost per lead? That's it. That's the only other level, nothing else. So start off with, when it comes to the cost, and we addressed this a while ago, I only look at the marketing cost, the budget, the marketing budget, not the management budget. Because I see that it's not a lever that I'm looking to, it's not a variable for me, right? The reason why I only focus on that is because I want to see what happens. If I spend $3,000 in ads versus $6,000, how does that affect my cost per acquisition and my leads and cost per clients? I don't care that it in reality actually costs me about $2,000 more in thing. That's expense. I'm using this tracking for the sake of growing. So have that in mind. At least that's what I look at based on the variable. The cost, how much money did you put into your ads? How many phone calls did I get? And how many contact form submissions did I get? Google Ads there's two types of leads, phone calls and contact form submissions usually. This is the responsibility of your marketer to give you that, or for you to know that, for you to go retrieve it at any point. If you don't, there's something's off. CallRail for phone calls, then leads that are coming in that are either being automatically added to your CRM, HubSpot account, or Google Sheets or whatever to your CRM, that these came from Google Ads. You need to get clear on that. The 30 plus 20 gives you a total of 50 leads. Equation, cost per lead, which is the cost divided by number of leads, gives you a cost per lead of 60. But the most important number, that I got 10 clients from Google Ads. If you don't know how many clients you got from the marketing source, it's trickier for you to go figure that part out. There's different methods. One particular method is if you have like CallRail and stuff set up, it's on the front end, you can see whether this client, where it came from. That's one way. Other way is when you track it into your CRM, you could look at the source, where it came from. Well, this lead was closed and the source is call from Google Ads. Okay, this one is a client. So yeah, ideally that's usually the way. If not, you have a welcome intake. You can ask them, how'd you find us? Was it a Google search? Was it Facebook? Was it Instagram? Was it YouTube? So ask that. And also you could verify that information on a call when you have that. It's very crystal clear for every single client exactly where they came from. The most important number is these two, your call clients, and most important number, your cost per acquisition. And this part, the value of clients, you basically do an estimation. Sometimes you're lucky enough to be able to collect that payment up front. A lot of times contingency, you have no idea until later, but just do a ballpark estimate. For these client 1 through 10, these will be valued at this much. Again, sometimes it's hard, but just do your best. Best estimate is still better than nothing. The value of these 10 clients will be about 10K, which is probably should be way more than that. Let's put this as 30K. And automatic equation for you, already made for you, give you ROI. ROI means return on investment. It just simply means for every dollar that I put in, how much more do I get back? So every dollar that I put in, I get $9 back profit or $10 back. $9 profit or $10 back. Same thing. 90% ROI. Our goal is for this to be 200%. That means $1 in, $3 back, or $2 profit. That's a 200% ROI. There's like different ways. Again, sometimes it could be confusing. 200% ROI means $1 in, $3 back, or $2. All means the same thing. If you see this 200% ROI, it's profitable. Not only is it profitable, it's probably really good, like the best investment you can make. Keep in mind, real estate and stocks and all that stuff is usually between 6% to like maybe 20%. This is 200%. This is like 10 times better. So why spend, why go do other things when you have your own source to generate them? Obviously, yes, there's operating costs and all that stuff, but it still will be profitable. And minimum is 200%. Sometimes you could get above 800%, have some things that are above 800%. I'm literally just trying to spend as much of the money I can, like there's no tomorrow. So get clear on the ROI on a monthly basis. And if that's the case, at the end of the month, because you heard me say this, polarizing question, if it's profitable, what should I double down on the budget or should I stop doing this? Have in mind that it takes 3 months for it to pan out. Your first month is always the most misleading. So you got to give it some time. But month 3, you better be profitable. First off. Yeah, if it's profitable, should I double down? Ideally, if you can double down, that's even better. But sometimes that could be scary, but at least 50% increase. So that means if your marketing budget is like 5K, then maybe 7,500 will be a good conservative spending more. If not, and you continuously doing that every month. 7,500, again, do the same calculation. Was it profitable? 200% ROI? Yeah, it was 360%. Okay, great. Can I do 10K or 12K? And it forces you, but this whole thing, spending more, forces you to go hire the intakers and figure out the lead automation stuff and the CRM, all that stuff. I was actually talking about this yesterday with a friend. When I generate leads for referrals, people that I work with, usually, 100% of the time, they can't handle it. Their systems can't handle the number of leads that I could generate for them. But the benefit is it forces them into go hiring 4 intakers right away. It forces them to go set up the lead automations. It forces the growth. No better way to grow than being forced into growth. So push the agenda, spend more, and it forces that growth versus like stone steady growth. Any questions about Google Ads tracking? If you're running Google Ads, you need this. So just do it. And you don't have to do it daily or weekly. It's just once a month. For me, the first of the month is the business day of the month for me. So I'm analyzing things left and right. Same thing in Facebook ads, much simpler though. Costs, leads, cost per lead, clients, cost of acquisition. That's it. Pretty much do analysis based on that. Spend more. Great. And usually, I'm not doing these enough. No. Usually works out for the better. Also, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. You need to put down all your different client sources down on paper. Again, that way you can see the big picture and get clear that I'm doing Google LSA and I'm doing Google Ads, but the difference between those, actually my cost acquisition and my ROI is actually the equation right here. But when you see them up against each other, you'll realize that your cost acquisition of Google LSA is $100, but from Google Ads, it's cheaper. Usually it's going to work out the way around. Usually your Google LSA probably will do better than your Google Ads. And once you see that, you're like, maybe I should be spending $500 here and a little bit less here. What I do, I'm very aggressive based on the data. If I have the data, I'm going to do it make it polarizing, make this like 10K and do none of this. Or even better, I just try to spend more in the 2 sources that are profitable, basically. So put them up against each other and get clear on that. Also, again, if your top client source is referrals, again, you need one of these. You need Google LSA, Google Ads, you need YouTube, You need Facebook ads. You need one of those. You need something, ideally something paid and something organic. The way you want to be. So for now, just give you guys a minute. Write down what are you spending money on, and also maybe if you're not doing it yet, you have it in your pipeline and you want to do it, put it down. Pretend like you're doing it. Put it down like it's there, more likely to be done. Throw it down. What's your allocated budget? You would like to do that. And it seems like based on your survey answers that you guys gave me, and I make it in the poll and now share the results. You guys probably see the results on the screen right now. The question number 5 is Facebook ads part of your marketing plan this year? 61% of us said yes. Okay, that's good. And it looks like their majority, 80%, almost 80% want me to focus on Facebook ads. So great, I'll do that again. No mastermind call next week. So the following mastermind call will be focused on just Facebook ads. Probably might take me 2, I'm assuming, two calls, maybe possibly 3. So I'll focus in just on that for one to run Facebook ads. And again, clarity, whether this works or not, and then give you the best of you succeeding. So we'll do that. And then quickly, I'm not going to show what it is so you guys know that it's there. If you need to track your leads, not ideal, but you can essentially use this template for lead tracking. The date, last name, email, phone number, and then any qualifying questions you ask. And the lead status, there's like options. You can make these options with data validation. There's all the different lead statuses. And I talk to them, send them a retainer, future case, pending settlement, etc. You could create these statuses yourself. And then lead notes, which is just a way to keep track of basically the date, who talked to them, and what happened on the call. This method is basically what I use. All these are lead sheets, exactly this based on this system. It worked really well. And yeah, and you're able to Jim shared, you're able to zap it into your sheet. Ideally, probably CRM probably makes more sense, but at the very least, this will do. We have some things in the pipeline for showing you guys how to set up CRMs and things like that. I'm literally sorting out that information. It takes me some time to figure out the right people, all that stuff. So I'll give you guys some updates later. Hopefully, Jim, you're able to afford it. Other thing is if you have intakers, it's called intaker tracking. Expect from your intakers. There's different forms of it. These are just some ideas to what to ask for, what to look for, bookings, etc. Take a look. There's also, you want to do client tracking in a Google Sheet, then you're able to do that. Weekly marketing tracking templates. I don't think you have to be as intense as a weekly, but if you want one, there it is. It's flipped. Seems like the X and Y axis are flipped for this one. If you want to do it on a weekly basis, which you probably don't need to do, but that's what it is right there. If you want to keep track of meetings, it's very similar to the lead sheet. Keep track of your Calendly meetings that are coming in, and then having your intakers keep track of the leads here. Also, this is worth printing up. Essentially, it's a client sign up trouble checklist. If you have trouble signing up clients, you need to go through this checklist. Are you texting the leads before calling the leads? So texting a lead. Is the intaker or VA 100% dedicated to these leads? That means they're only signing up clients. That's it. They're not doing anything else. Is the lead being called right away in 1 minute? Every minute that you wait is like potentially like 10 to 20% that your chances are being dropped. Is automated text setup? All this stuff, again, we'll get to when we start focusing on this a little bit. We'll explore every single one of these. Are the calls, are we calling the leads times? But this probably should say 15 times or more in the beginning, many times, 2 times a day, and the first day, second day, and then once on the third day, fourth day, etc. Are they being called enough? Do you have enough intakers? A lot of times you just don't have enough. You have a CRM, etc., etc. It's all here. Again, we'll kind of explore these things once we kind of focus on lead conversions. Then the granddaddy of them all, it's a very comprehensive one. People don't need this. But if you really wanted to go really crazy, then this one also includes your Google Analytics, phone service, your active campaign, etc., etc. Yeah, this is probably put it at the end. Don't get overwhelmed by it. All right. Yeah, I have much crazier tracking sheets than this. This is just ones to share with you guys. I have to analyze hundreds of thousands of dollars of leads being spent, so it needs to be spent correctly. And it's a lot more granular than that. I'm analyzing campaigns and ad sets and ads, distributing budgets across different things. Yeah, shared this article on lead response from MIT is really good intro. Mike, I would love for you to be able to summarize there, or should we ask ChatGPT to summarize this first? Let's see if he'll do it. If he'll do it, might be a little bit, the data might be a little dispersed, but let's see what ChatGPT will give us.
The big takeaway, Sam, is that you got to respond within 5 minutes, or your chance of closing the lead goes down like 21%. And then every minute after that, it goes down more, up to like 30 minutes is where basically if it falls off a cliff.
Nice. Let's read it. The study analyzed 3 years of data from 6 companies that generated and responded to web leads, examining 15,000 leads and 100,000 call attempts. The study found that Wednesdays and Thursdays are the best days to call leads. Okay, good information right there. Wednesdays and Thursdays. I also have the same data. For me, it is actually Wednesdays and Thursdays. It's like Wednesdays, Thursdays, Tuesdays, then Mondays, from what I remember. So that checks off. are the best days to call leads, to make contacts and qualify them. And that 4 to 6 p.m. is the best time to make contact. Okay, great. Anybody that ever wanted to know that? I get questions I get asked all the time. What time should be working? And the answer is when your prospects are more likely to be responsive. It usually means not in the morning time. Your intakers don't have to be working at 8 a.m. Shouldn't at 8 a.m. Usually it's, again, depends on your good demographic and it depends on your data. Just so you could ask your intakers, when are people more likely to be free and more responsive? And you want to adjust their hours based on that. For us, we have people calling until 8 p.m. And we found out people from like 5 to 8 p.m. are very likely to sign up because they got off work. So that checks off right there, 4 to 6 p.m. While 8 to 9, 4 to 5 p.m. are the best times to qualify leads. The odds of contacting qualified lead decrease significantly after the first hour, and the odds of contacting qualified lead decreases significantly after 5 minutes. What's the decrease of not contacting and qualifying a lead within the first 5 minutes? According to the study, the odds of contacting a lead if called within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes dropped 100 times. 100 times. Hopefully this is right. This is like it is. While the odds of qualifying a lead if called within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes drops 21 times. That's crazy. That's like what chart is that, Mike?
It's like a hockey stick.
Hockey stick. Yeah, exactly. But this suggests that responding quickly to web-generated leads is critical for increasing the chance of making contact and qualifying lead. There we go. Okay, so Wednesdays and Thursdays, and make sure you have coverage from 4 to 6 p.m. And Stacy also shared business coordinators are proven year after year that 5 to 8 p.m. wins. Great, amazing. And also at the same time, you guys saw summarizing this. Good. All right. So to summarize the big ideas of today is the easiest way to scale is just spend more money on what works and cut out what doesn't. Obvious, but good reminder. Make sure you're doing it with the right people, but keep in mind that no one cares as much as you. So you got to be involved. Focus on what am I getting out of this? Work backwards. Again, how to create a marketing budget for your law firm. Need it again is here. Fill this out and get clear on that. And also we shared that in order for that to happen, you need to track everything, make sure that we're profitable. If that's the case, then spend more. If you just do this, you'll be able to double your law firm just by literally having these rules of thumb. That's it. If it's profitable, spend more. Simple. Like simplifying as much as possible. And in order for that to happen, we need to track everything. The different forms, macro, QuickBooks, P&L preferred, Google Sheet, get clear on your business for this year, and then break down your marketing sources for each one, know with clarity how many number of clients you're getting and your cost position, and then put that on together too. That way you play that strategy. Where are these lead tracking sheets? If you go to this tab, Elizabeth, this might be the one you can use for lead tracking. Any questions about this? Then we'll get to that. There were some questions that were coming to me directly, and I said save it to the end. Feel free right now to ask those questions so we can answer them. Mike says, how long do you give a marketing channel to reach profitability or not before you decide where to pull the plug or keep going? Great question, Mike. So these are all strategy stuff. So first is no expectations in first month. Okay, 0 expectations. It means I'm expecting to lose money essentially, and nothing on a first month basis. I'm just trying to collect data, but also super experimental my first month. This kind of goes into the rule of twos because there has been module 2 knows about this. Same thing when it comes to your marketing. When you're starting on something, just put 2 things up against you. I do these. I think in immigration, there's 2 types of visas. For every practice type, for everything, there's always 2 things. Different synonyms, types, different things, whatever that is. Break it down to 2. So you could give half the budget to this one, half of this budget to this one, so that at the end of the month, not only are you just getting data of this is working on, but now you're saying you have clarity, this one works better than this. So if that's the case, month 2, only do this, drop this. Ideally, if you can put up another experiment, even better. If not, sometimes that would be good enough. So be experimental, but again, experimental in the first couple of months. But my vision, my perspective is by month 3, by end of month 3, you better be profitable. It's not too long, it's not too short, just enough to give it enough of a chance. At that point, you better be profitable. Again, a lot of it depends on the person you're already working with and you pushing them, being experimental, all that stuff. At that point, month 3, if you're already working with like Google Ads or somebody expert and you're not profitable and it's already beyond 3, then you're not married. But also be reasonable. And also a lot of time, be mindful who you're blaming. Actually, we discussed this in my little chat with Hamid yesterday. When I used to generate leads for the company that he was consulting, I would do my thing and then a month, give them the report, and then they would come back. We only signed up 6 clients this month. I'm like, that's not my department. I'm generating you the leads. Your intakers, I've been listening to your calls and you're dropping the calls. You're not picking up on the mob. You're not following up on all this other stuff. And usually it's that. That's the issue. It's always the conversion. The generating them part is easy. The The conversion is the hard part, and it's the part that nobody does. And I see this, I experienced this over and over when I was doing it myself. I still experience it to this day. And all of my media buying friends, they get driven crazy by clients who put the focus in on that, where the issue is not the Google ads, or it's not their fault. It's just you who's not sending, or doesn't have a good lead conversion system. So be mindful of this. Focus on the lead conversion. Again, we'll have some focuses about this. Again, it requires a lot, and it's art and science to this, and not easy. So, the right people, and get a lot of conversations happening behind the scenes. So just, give me some time to sort that out, and then we'll focus in on this. Elizabeth says, what countries should we look at for hiring someone to analyze the lead tracking data? Good, Elizabeth. It does not have to be from Philippines, that's for sure. Philippines for just general admins, like people behind a computer. But when it comes to more specialist stuff like marketing or social media or things that require a little bit more of a specialty, you're not limited to the Philippines. So it would be essentially from any country. But there are some countries that I would avoid. And I've brought up those specific countries before. It hasn't really panned out that well. It usually doesn't. So just essentially it's qualified, they can do it. For this, if you just put a job post for Google Analytics expert, somebody who can do Google Analytics, that usually means they're a little bit more analytical, they're a little bit more into numbers. That person would be perfect to say, these are my sources, I close them to all what you're doing. These are my sources, this is my CRM, so that go figure out all these numbers for me. So I would put up a job post for this, Elizabeth.